Pat?
Yes, sir.
All right, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bexar County Court at Law number 6 and the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. And we have a plea and MTR docket. It is approximately 2:00 p.m. on Monday, the 29th of March, 2021. We have two pleas today. Let's take those up first. We've got State of Texas versus Jorge Antonio Oliva, 640-890, represented by Julia Hernandez. And we have State of Texas versus Jessica Renee Hampton, cause 6477723, represented by Mr. Adam Cobbs. At this time, Ms. Hampton and Mr. Olivo, I'm going to ask you to identify a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, which purports to have your signature and your attorney's signature on it. Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Hernandez, as attorney for Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document also?
Correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Hampton, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Cobbs, as attorney for Ms. Hampton, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Olivo and Ms. Hampton, the next document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have your signature on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Olivo, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Hampton, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. By signing this document, are each of you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys, so that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, Mr. Olivo?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Ms. Hampton?
Yes, Your Honor.
As attorney for Mr. Olivo, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent? Ms. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Cobbs, as attorney for Ms. Hampton.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Olivo, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And same question for Ms. Hampton.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Hernandez, as attorney for Mr. Olivo, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
Yes, they have, Judge.
Same question for Mr. Cobbs with regard to representing Ms. Hampton.
They have, Your Honor.
Mr. Olivo, and cause 640-890 to the charge of reckless driving. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
You're in agreement for Mr. Olivo.
1 day in the Bexar County Jail, $200 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and we ask this to be a JSAT, Judge.
And Ms. Hernandez, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Olivo, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of reckless driving. I find you guilty. I assess 1 day in the Bexar County Jail, a $200 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Olivo?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Let Mr. Olivo, thank you, Ms. Hernandez. You're dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
And state, you have a motion on Ms. Hampton's case, it appears.
Yes, Judge, it started as a DWI second, and the state moves to waive the enhancement and proceed as a DWI first.
Objection from the defense, I assume, and
No.
that will be granted. Thank you, Mr. Cobb. Ms. Hampton, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, ma'am?
No
Guilty?
contest.
No contest, I'm sorry.
Court accepts the plea of no contest to driving while intoxicated, first offense. Is there an agreement for Ms. Hampton?
6/12, $400 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI intervention, DIP, CAT SNP, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
Mr. Cobb, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Hampton, in clause 6477723, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I find you guilty. I assess 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, a $400 fine plus court costs, 48 hours of community service, DWI intervention program, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety new intervention program, outpatient drug, and the Smart Start mobile home interlock for 6 months. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Hampton?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Ms. Hampton. Thank you, Mr. Cobbs. Y'all are dismissed.
Susan, are you going to explain probation, what she needs to do?
Somebody will contact with you within 48 hours, or actually they'll probably reach out to you today. If you don't hear from anybody by noon tomorrow, let me give you a telephone number.
Okay, go ahead.
210-335-7200.
Okay, okay,
And you'll ask for intake and just let them know that you were granted probation on the 29th so that they can get all your paperwork done.
okay,
But you'll probably hear from them sometime tomorrow morning.
okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
You bet. Thank you very much. Are we ready on Ms. Andrade's MTR? Mr. Serna? Are y'all ready on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. I have not conferred with the ADA yet.
We've got time to do that if the ADA would like to go into a chat room with you. And in the future, I need you to do it before we get here for the hearing. But today, you're the only case we have, so we got time for you. No problem.
I did reach out on Friday, Your Honor.
Okay. I mean, you're welcome to talk in front of us, but probably you want to go in a chat room.
That's
with
fine.
Ms.
So
Andrade.
just kind of an explanation with the ADA about what's going on. My client was basically done with the terms of her probation. She'd paid everything she was supposed to pay. She talked to the probation officer, was told that she didn't have to report anymore. She was at the end. Her mom came up sick, so she went down to Hidalgo County under the understanding that she didn't have to do anything anymore. So she went down to Hidalgo County to spend some time with her mom who had COVID. And during that time, her husband signed a contract in her name. And so, just before that. And so there was a theft of services charge that was put on my client and her soon to be ex-husband. So that's where the charge comes from out of Hidalgo County. It's not something that she did. It's something her soon to be ex-husband did.
Okay. I was gonna ask you what that was.
Yeah, so they had a little small business, like a lighting business, and he signed a contract but never performed the services. But he signed the contract in her name. So what they did is they took the two principals from the business and charged them with theft of service.
Okay.
She didn't even know anything about it until she got arrested.
Hey, Mr. Serna, did both she and her husband get charged for this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are those offenses still pending and you're representing them on them?
I'm not representing him. I'm representing my Mrs.
Okay. Okay.
So,
But the
and
case is
yes,
still
and
open at
actually,
this time?
I don't believe they've arraigned yet either. So,
Okay. And what were the services that were allegedly in dispute on this case, on the new case?
I believe it was that he was to provide lighting or something in that regard, and never did.
Okay, I got you. Anybody have any questions based on Mr. Serna's representation, state probation? Okay, are we ready to proceed then, Mr. Serna?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is cause 626-176, State of Texas versus Jeanette Andrade. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I apologize. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. Ms. Andrade, I'm now looking at a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have your signature and your attorney, Mr. Serna's signature on it. Is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Serna, as attorney for Ms. Andrade, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The next document I have is entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. My understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke probation. Is that correct, Mr. Serna?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Gross, as representative of the CSCD, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Representing the state is Ms. Alexis O'Connor. Representing the Bexar County CSD is Ms. Susan Gross. And at this time, on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how does the defendant plead? And it can be either true or not true with an explanation. I think is probably the easiest way to address that. So either way you want to go on those.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say guilty because, it wasn't my fault what happened.
Well, my suggestion would be, and I'm not the attorney on this case, I'm just watching it go by. But on condition number 1, that says you allegedly committed the offense of theft. I would think a plea of not true with an explanation, as you've already explained before you got into the hearing, would be adequate for that one. And then if you did leave the county without written permission of the court, and I don't know if you did or you didn't, that could be a true or not true, depending on what the circumstances were.
Yeah, it's true.
Your Honor, if I could suggest for my client and let her think about it before she actually enters that part, I would say true with conditions. So, given the conditions with COVID and her mom possibly dying.
Okay, so condition number 1 is going to be a plea of not true with an explanation, and condition number 7 is going to be a plea of true with an explanation. Would that be accurate?
I would say that that's an accurate statement.
Is that okay with you, Ms. Andrade?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties what the status of Ms. Andrade's probation is, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Andrade did well with reporting, but she did miss her last month of reporting. Her case did expire on the 2nd, so she would have had 1 day to report. We last saw her January 4th of 2021. She did pay her case in full. She completed all 24 hours of community service as well as her stress class. She had 7 negative drug tests. She does have a new case pending in Hidalgo County that is for a theft. And as far as criminal history goes, she has 1 prior arrest for harassment, and her officer is recommending that her probation be terminated unsatisfactory.
Hopefully her harassment case was against her husband, who's got her currently in trouble. I don't know. That was a joke. All right. That being said, defense, what is it you're requesting?
We request that that we accept the findings of probation and that her probation be terminated and that no further action on this charge be had.
Thank you. State recommendation?
Judge, we're going to go along with probation.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go along with probation. Ms. Andrade, in cause 626-176, the court accepts your plea of not true with an explanation to condition 1 and true with an explanation to condition 7. I deny the state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke your community supervision, and I order that your probation be terminated satisfactorily. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Andrade?
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Andrade.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Judge, hang on here. If you revoke it, I need a sentence.
I didn't revoke it. I've terminated her satisfactory.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said revoke.
That was before I heard the story. It's a good story.
Thank you.
All right, y'all take care.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Judge. May
You
we
too.
be excused?
You bet.
Thanks.
Okay, that's all I got.
Still
Got
on
a
YouTube.
question.
Still on
George-
YouTube.